Out in the heartland, where the corn grows tall and the roads stretch on forever, there stood a barn. It wasn't just any barn. This one had a story. The paint, once a proud, defiant red, had surrendered to the sun and the rain, peeling away to reveal the weathered gray wood beneath. The wind was its only regular visitor, rattling the big, heavy doors on their rusty hinges, a constant, rhythmic creaking that sounded like a slow, tired heartbeat. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of old hay, damp earth, and something else. Something metallic and forgotten. Peeking out from under a pile of old, dusty tarps was something that didn't belong. It wasn't a tractor. It wasn't a plow. A glint of chrome trim caught a stray beam of light, a faint sparkle in the gloom. This was a secret, hidden away from the world. Let's turn the clock back, way back to 1970. The air was filled with the smell of high-octane gasoline and burning rubber. This wasn't always a forgotten relic. This was a brand new Plymouth Hemi Cuda, and not just any Cuda. The car would launch off the line, its rear tires wrinkling under the immense torque, smoke billowing everywhere. It dominated the quarter mile, a blur of color and chrome, leaving competitors in its wake. For a few glorious years, this Hemi Cuda was the king. During one fateful race, something went wrong. A catastrophic engine failure brought the thunder to an abrupt halt. The engine, the very heart of the beast, was broken. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, months turned into years, and then decades. The promise to fix the legendary Hemi faded like an old photograph. The tires slowly lost their air, and the car sank lower on its suspension. Spiders spun webs across its iconic shaker hood scoop. Mice made nests in the upholstery. The world moved on. The muscle car era ended. New technologies came and went, but the Cuda remained, a perfect, untouched artifact from 1970. For nearly 40 years, the Cuda waited. Its incredible story was on the verge of being lost forever, destined to crumble into dust along with the barn that served as its tomb. The rediscovery happened by chance. It was a beautiful autumn day when the property's current owner, deciding to finally clear out the old dilapidated barn, slid open the heavy, groaning doors. Sunlight pierced the darkness for the first time in ages, illuminating the scene of neglect. Curiosity piqued, he pulled back a corner of the heavy fabric. The dust was so thick it looked like gray fur. He saw a grill, a bumper. Then they saw the small, rectangular badge on the fender. The friend wiped it clean with his sleeve, and 4 letters appeared that made his heart stop. HEMI. Soon, experts were called in to verify the find. They checked the VIN. They inspected the fender tag. Everything matched. This was it. The real deal. The bidding was furious. Collectors from all over the world battled for the chance to own this incredible piece of history. When the final gavel fell, the crowd erupted. The dusty, forgotten race car had sold for an incredible $3 million. The new owner had a vision. While some might have preserved the car in its dusty, barn-find state, he believed this legend deserved to roar again. A team of the best Mopar specialists in the country was assembled. Every single part was carefully removed, cataloged, and inspected. The legendary 426 Hemi engine was carefully lifted from its bay and sent to a master builder who specialized in these powerful, complex motors. The body was stripped down to bare metal, revealing pristine, rust-free sheet metal. The car was then meticulously repainted in its original, vibrant factory color. Finally, the day came for the engine to be reunited with the body. The freshly rebuilt Hemi was gently lowered back into the engine bay where it had sat silent for so long. The final product was breathtaking. It was no longer a dusty relic. It was a perfect 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda, looking as if it had just rolled off the assembly line. The moment of truth had arrived. The key, now polished and new, was placed into the ignition. Everyone held their breath. With a turn of the wrist, the starter engaged, and then it happened. A deep, guttural cough, followed by an explosion of sound as all 8 cylinders roared to life. The car rolled out of the workshop and onto the open road. It was late afternoon, and the sun was beginning its slow descent towards the horizon, painting the sky in fiery shades of orange and purple. He pushed the accelerator to the floor. The Cuda responded instantly, the car launching forward with incredible force. The roar of the Hemi was deafening, a triumphant battle cry echoing across the landscape. As the sun finally dipped below the horizon, The Cuda's headlights cut through the twilight. From a dusty, forgotten barn to a glorious sunset run, the Hemi Cuda had been reborn. It was more than just a car. It was a story of hope, of dedication, and of the timeless appeal of American muscle. And as the taillights faded into the distance, one thing was certain. This legend would never be silenced again.